Hola Amigas, tis I, Cloyce, aka Manny Bish, and today we are doing a do's and don'ts video in terms of dip powder. So, first thing is first, the ring finger is my don'ts, and the index finger is my do's. So, we are skipping prep altogether on my ring finger because that is a don't. You do not want to skip prep on your ring finger. Yeah. And then peel base is optional. I'm going to go ahead and just go right into that on my ring finger since we are skipping prep. I don't do peel base if you're looking for your mani to last a certain amount of time. If you want an easy pop off, of course, you can do peel base. Just know that if you're doing it on your natural nail, peel base works really, really good on your natural nail, so you might have things pop off right away. Do not wash your hands at least an hour before you start dipping because your nail expands and it's going to have, then your nail shrinks after you've already dipped if you've washed your hands, and you're going to have just lifting. So don't wash your hands at least an hour before, so that way your nail is completely dry and ready. So prep. You could use a barrel bit, fine barrel bit at a speed of 4 to 5 RPMs. But for this video, I'm going to be doing everything by hand. Now, for this, we have a 150, 180 file. Always use the finer grit on your natural nail. The finer grit is going to be the higher number. So if it's 180, 150, 180 is going to be the finer grit. Use that on your nail. They have go up to 200 and something. So just always use the finer grit on your natural nails so you don't damage. Push back your cuticles is a definite do. Do push back your cuticles. That way you can get any of the excess stuff off of your nail plate. Remove it. I'm using a glass cuticle pusher here. This is really good for dry removing. So you don't need any extra anything. Just scrape that cuticle away. And that way when you go in with your liquids and to dip and everything, you have a very clean nail, because if you leave cuticle on your nail, you will have lifting. So just make sure you are really prepping. So this is going to be a difference in longevity all the way. So our other nail, because we did not do any of the prep or anything, odds are it's not going to last that long. Unless by some miracle you just have really good luck or something. I don't know. It's just, it won't last very long if you don't do the prep. So now we're going to buff your nail to get the shine off and all of that stuff. You want to get the shine, the oils removed, buff your natural nail. And then you're going to clean with alcohol. Or you can dehydrate at this point, but I like to clean with alcohol first. And I also am out of dehydrator, so I have to use alcohol. So things happen. And now at this point, I am going to go in with my peel base for this nail. Now that I have it all prepped and everything, now I'll go in with my peel base. Again, this is optional. Do not use peel base if you're looking to have your mani last weeks. It isn't going to happen if you use peel base, especially on your natural nail. So I like to use... 1 layer is probably going to get you a good longevity. 2 layers is what I use, but that's only because of filming purposes. And always, always, always let your peel base dry. You want to give it a chance to dry 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, as long as you can, but at least 2 minutes. Because if it isn't dry and you go in with another layer, it's going to mess with the effects and the way it works and everything. And you're going to have a just weird mess on your hands. Now again, I do 2 layers for filming purposes. You do not do this if you want your nails to last long, okay? If you're looking for your nails to last longer than 2-3 days, don't do the second layer. Again, I do for filming. And then you're going to let it dry again. So on my ring finger, I did not let, I guess you could say that I let it dry because it's just been sitting there hanging out. I don't know. Take that as you will. Cuticle tools. Cuticle tools. This is going to help you clean around your cuticle. So we have a dotting tool. This is what I used when I first started out. I got a dotting tool and I used the very, very smallest one that I had, and I cleaned around my cuticles. This is going to help get that clean look. You can also use a cuticle pusher, like the pick part of the cuticle pusher, the pointy end. You can use that. I got these off of Manny Boss. They come in a pack of 10 for like $2 or $5. I don't remember. Or you can get a precision tool. This one is from Triple D, and it is just amazing. So, yes, I already have this nail done. I rearranged this video a little bit. So now going back to dipping. So, now that we have our prep done and not done on our finger, we are going to get into the dipping situation. I don't know what I was confused about there. Now, I'm using my Manny Boss liquids, and I'm using CN Designer Dip Oopsie. So, if you're using pill base, add just a plain layer of dip base. That way, it's not, because pill base has a tendency to dry your dip base super fast. So, you want to add that free layer and just let it dry. That way it doesn't affect the actual drying time when you're actually dipping, which I'm going to do on my don'ts finger. Now, you also want to wipe your brush after you touch it to your nail with the pill base, just so you don't contaminate your liquids. So, do not go straight in over your pill base and dip. You can, but there are some times that it can just start to dry crazy fast and you don't know why. And the other thing is you don't want to just go in and be crazy carefree with your liquids. Messier you are, is just, you're gonna have a mess. And then not cleaning your cuticles is another don't. Okay? Clean your cuticles. That's also going to help get longevity out, because if you have stuff on your skin and you leave it there on your skin and don't separate it from your actual nail, it's just gonna create lifting, and you're gonna have pop-offs, lifting. You can cause greenies if you're not using pill base, all kinds of things. So on the do's, you want to be mindful and precise. Try to be precise. This does take some practice, so you got to be patient with yourself too. But just try and be mindful, and try and just really guide that brush where it needs to go. You don't want to be just in a rush trying to do this. Just be mindful. And then also clean your cuticles. This is also going to help in case you do get liquid on your skin and everything. I still get liquid on my skin. Even trying to be precise and everything, I still get liquid on my skin. But that's why you're going to clean your cuticles. And you just use your little thing, go around your sidewalls, go around your cuticle, get that dip and dip base off of your skin and off of your cuticle around the edges. And it's going to look a lot better, and it's going to last a lot longer too, because you're going to actually be able to get that seal around the nail when it comes to terms of top coating and everything. So here's our difference so far of not cleaning our cuticles and being messy versus trying to be precise and mindful and cleaning our cuticles. So another do not is don't not remove excess powder. One swipe of a brush across your nail isn't going to be enough to get powder off your nail. I like to use a stiff bristle brush every time to clean powder off my nail now, because it just does an amazing job of removing all the excess powder. So if you don't have a stiff bristle brush, just use a brush, fluffy brush, makeup brush, whatever you have, and still do more than just one sweep across your nail. Okay, you need to try and brush all of that excess powder off. And so that's why I like to use a stiff bristle brush, because it just gets the job done fast. And so now going into our second layer, a do not is not brushing your brush off. That's a lot. Not brushing your brush off before going back into the bottle. Especially with highly pigmented colors like this. This is going to stain, and you don't want to contaminate your liquids, because then you'll go back and you might have some orange or some glitter. Glitter is one that you do not want to mess around with and not wipe your brush off. So here's our second layer on our don't finger. And again, we're not cleaning cuticles or anything, because that is a don't. You want to clean your cuticles. I'm doing this so that way you can actually see the like effects at the end and see the difference of the do's and the don'ts. So again, do be mindful and try to be precise. Like, you have control of the brush. It's all about steadiness in your hand. I like to set my hand down and then use my like wrist action to do the brushing, So, and then do wipe your brush off before you put it back, so you don't stain your brush and your dip liquid. Clean your cuticles. This one I think is like the easiest and the best tip, is to clean your cuticles. It helps with the non-messy look so good. It just clean your cuticles, and you need to do this before you even brush off excess powder. And that's a good thing too, because then you're going to give that dip powder a longer time to dry and set in to the dip liquid as you clean your cuticles, and then you can brush away the excess powder and not be like struggling with still wet base or anything, because it's dried. You've been dealing with your cuticles. So now we're going to scrubby brush our do finger. So remove all excess dip powder. This is just, you don't want any loose clumps and chunks of dip powder on your nail. When you go in with your brush, you're going to contaminate stuff and everything. So this is iffy. You don't have to clear cap, but it's a good idea to. So this is going to be the same as dipping with color. I say it's a good idea too, because in terms of filing, sometimes you can get carried away and take away some of the color if you don't clear cap. And sometimes you can take away the color if you do clear cap. You can go right through that clear cap. But glitter, you especially want to clear cap. That way you don't file away the glitter and get that dull look. So this is just, in terms of like shimmers and solids, it's a personal opinion, option, whatever you want to do, but I highly suggest it. And then do not double dip. I've learned this recently and come across it. Don't double dip. Once you've dipped your nail, just let that nail dry. If you want to go in with a second layer of dip base and then dip again, that's fine. But don't double dip from a 1 if it still looks wet. Just to let it absorb. That way you don't get the white spots on your nail. Okay? So we activated. And did you see how my brush turned orange because it was not encapsulated? So that's another thing too. It does help save your activator too from not staining. Clear capping does. So just a, heads up. And then remove all the excess powder. Again, you want to do that with the clear too. And now we're going to activate, and we don't have any staining on our activator brush because we've also clear capped. And now we are going to get into filing. So with filing, I am using my hand file again. So a don't is, like, you guys see that I have that all on my skin. You want to lift that up off of your skin. If you get dip powder on your skin, just try and separate your skin, okay? So a don't is going to be some, like, don't skip, like, reshaping your free edge and thinning out your free edge some, because that's going to give you that more, like, good nice straight look at the end. So don't skip filing your free edge and reshaping it. It's just going to be like all wonky. And don't skip filing around your cuticle, because that's important in terms of getting that nice pretty shape to your cuticle, and making sure that the dip powder just tapers into your nail nicely so it can help longevity. And then uneven filing. So this is just going to be in terms of, you don't want to be uneven filing because you don't want to potentially have a lump that you missed and then one be too, like, just uneven filing is not good. So another don't. And then leaving dip powder on your skin is just another don't. Don't do that. Try and take it off. Sometimes I use tweezers and I go in and I peel the dip base off because I still get it on my fingers, even with like all the stuff, but you just want to remove it, okay? And so a do is going to be reshaping your free edge. Like, I already had a shape going, but you add layers, it gets bulky. I'm going to just reshape that, get it nice and clean looking. And on this, I am using the 150 side of my file. Use 150 when it comes to acrylic and dip. It's stronger, tougher. It's going to be able to get through the stuff better. And so, reshaping my free edge. And then we are going to, I don't know what I'm saying here. Reshape your free edge. You want to have an even file on your whole nail. You need to do cuticles. So cuticles kind of rounding out that and just nail at the top. And thin out. Yes, that's what I was trying to get to, that I lost my train of thought. Thin out the top of your free edge. And because thinning out the top of your free edge, it just is going to give you that more tapered nail look from the terms of like your apex down to the free edge when you look at it at the profile. And then file along your cuticles, file around your cuticles, get that dip away from your cuticles, and then just do an even file across your nail. And just try and, whatever you do to one side of your nail, for the most part, you want to do to the other side too. Keep that in mind. And then a do is a buff after you're done filing. Get those scratch marks from your file off of your nail. Give it a smooth, even surface. That way you have just already a smooth and even surface to go into when you're putting your top coat on. And you guys see the difference from our smooth, even nail to our don't nail. It's just way better. So you already have the look that you're going for in the end, just minus the top coat. So it's all about like keeping things neat through the process so you don't have to overcompensate at the end. So, top coat. We are going to activate our nails. And we are, thankfully, that didn't stain that time because I already filed off the excess powder. But, anywho, activate. Let it sit there for a second to marinate. And then you're going to, I like to fold my paper towel in half. I don't know why I do this every time I do my nails. I've noticed it's something that I do though. Don't know why. Now we're going to wipe our nails with our paper towel and get that excess activator off. This is, you don't have to do this. I do it unless I can't, if that makes sense. There are certain times where I skip wiping the nail off completely. I'm just extra mindful of stuff. So, quick, even strokes. That's what you want to do. Wipe your brush off before going back in the bottle. Quick, even strokes wipe your brush off before you go back into the bottle, especially for this first layer. So do not wipe your brush multiple times. You want it to be quick and even, like 3 strokes, and then you're done. You keep going over and over and over again, and my brush is already hardened. You guys will see, I will show you. It has already hardened, and you're going to have a mess on your hands if you do that. So just be careful for that. So here I'm putting it in, and then I'm wiping my brush off, and I'm like, oh crap, it's hard. Like, it is completely hard just from spending too much time and not wiping my brush off right away. It's hard. So luckily for me, I have extra little brushes, and I have one in a brush saver currently, so I'm just going to swap those brushes out. I'm going to wipe the brush saver off. You guys see how soft that is? Put that one in there, and I'm going to put that brush into the brush saver. And that is from Manny Boss as well. So now I've got my good brush back. We're going to do even strokes again for our second layer, but this time we can be more mindful. We don't have to work as fast because we already have that one layer blocking the activator underneath. You do want to cap your free edge. Just nice, easy, mindful things. And wipe your brush off, because we already seen what happens if you don't wipe your brush off with the activator. And here I just had a little hole on my index finger. I'm just going back in real quick with just one little swipe, and it fixed it. We're good. You can go back in with more if you need to. Just make it even again, and it will still dry if it hasn't been too long. So we still have that activator on. It's been just a couple of minutes. Like, we're good. It will still dry. Now, I don't think I added this, and I should have. Add cuticle oil. That's a do. I do this. I'll usually forget to do it on camera, and I do it after I've turned my camera off. So, yes, do add cuticle oil. That way your nails look fresh, they're healthy, you just keep them hydrated, help growth, help strength. So, this is our do's and don'ts video of dip powder things. I'm going to show you guys pictures, and you'll see the side by side of how just doing the right steps and being mindful and everything and keeping clean along the process can help. So, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye, bitches.